very much indeed. When I was last with you on Monday, I left you with something pretty similar to this, with an area of cloud drifting in towards the British Isles, and we really are in the flight path of a number of fronts which are ganging up already across the northern parts of the British Isles. And I suspect over the next couple of days we will get used to the pattern of high pressure out in the Atlantic, low pressure forming towards Scandinavia, and the combination will drag in some really quite cool airs from the north. And notice by the number of isobars that we have that the winds will be strong, nay gale force, for the far northeast of Scotland, and at times down the exposed eastern locations of England and Scotland too. That low pressure dominant over Scandinavia through the weekend. We have already had one down across the Balkan area through the bulk of the week, and if you know people serving down there with the forces, well, they've had a pretty grim sort of week with a lot of wet weather to contend with. I suspect though there are going to be bits and pieces of sunshine across the Mediterranean as we move on through the weekend. But if you were thinking about a weekend break up in Berlin or Warsaw, well, it's probably a good call if you cancelled it, because it will stay pretty unsettled there. Coming back closer to the British Isles, we've certainly had a wet old start to the day across many parts of Scotland. Bits and pieces of cloud and rain, they're beginning to drift down the eastern side of England as well. And we've also seen a spot of drizzle over on the western side of Cornwall. Now, much of the rain is in association with this area of low pressure. Notice too that we are also warning about some very strong winds, and I don't think there'll be an awful lot of sunshine as we move on through this afternoon. So do take care if you're on the move, particularly across Scotland and the north of England, because there are going to be some very tricky driving conditions. But with all the cloud and rain around, well, no great surprise that the temperatures are nothing to write home about. As we move on through the night, so we'll push that cloud and rain a little bit further to the south, things clearing to the north, and that will mean that the temperatures will fall away as well. The last of that rain will be found down in the southwestern quarter of the British Isles to start off the weekend, and then as we move on, well, I think we'll find a combination of showers and some blustery winds for the eastern side of the British Isles, something slightly drier over in the western side of Scotland, Northern Ireland, western Wales, but you will notice that we hang on to that cloud and rain in the far southwestern quarter. And then as we move on into Sunday, well, I suspect it's going to be a combination again of high out in the Atlantic with the area of low pressure further to the east, and that will keep that northerly wind going with plenty of showers for many eastern parts, something slightly drier as you move towards the